Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Blazecast presentation. I'll be bringing you another game from the Defense 2 group stages. This one's between CLG and Hello Moto, and they're going in to just do a best of one early on in the group stages here. CLG, the often known Swedish team, with Pycat as the captain, and then this lesser known kind of dark horse. They have played a couple tournaments before, but generally speaking they're not as popular on the scene. But they are Hello Moto. They're across all of Europe. A little bit of Germany, a little bit of Bulgaria, I think. But one way or another, I've heard they actually do have a very interesting style that makes these games very, very dynamic and fun. So glad to see it and looking forward to it. Starting off, we do have a first pick, first band from CLG. They're going to take off the Dark Seer along with the Chen band coming out of Hello Moto. So just some standard. As far as that goes, the band there, Chen band can be opening up a possible Enchantress pickup, since Hello Moto does have the second and third picks of the lineup. They do. Both teams are actually down one player. We're looking at a stand-in on Hello Moto, and on CLG's team, it looks like Aki is actually the player that's not going to be playing, with Dement taking his position there. So, but yeah, just to introduce myself really briefly while we're kind of slow in the banding phase here. I'm Blaze. I'm working on becoming a better caster and kind of try to see if I can practice this up and bring some talent to the field. Just kind of putting my own style into it. I'm generally a more analytical type, but I can get excited about it when I want to, and I hope to be able to improve on that and how I phrase things and things along those lines. It's a little slow going, but overall I think I've improved a lot over the past month or two that I've been working on this, and we'll see how it goes. So we are getting a Broodmother ban out from CLG. Just another one of those pesky hard pushers that they don't want to have to worry about backdooring against them. Has the it's really just Broodmother, just a really powerful solo lane, especially running into suicide. Just really hard to shut down unless you're going for a 3 versus 1 type thing with sentries or things along those lines. But also the Enchantress band coming out from Hello Moto, so they definitely weren't looking at picking up the Enchantress, and seeing as Chen band was banned out, they knew that there was a weakness in that lineup where, with the Chen band out, if CLG did decide to pick up an Enchantress, then there's nothing that Hello Moto could really do about it. I mean, there's, as far as claiming that a position of early game jungler, a pusher, ganker, that kind of thing. I mean, Enigma does that pretty well too, but he is a lot more mana reliant than Chen or Enchantress would be. The final bands coming out, Nature's Prophet and Lycan. These are all both pushers and backdoors and things along those lines, so that's something they don't want to have to look out for, but there are a lot of openings because of it. You're looking at Invoker, Leshrac, Chaos Knight. All these heroes are available to be picked up by either team at this point because of those opening bans. And I mean, the Chen and Enchantress are really important to ban together. Especially since Hello Moto obviously wasn't planning on drafting that. But yeah, here's a Chaos Knight pickup. Just leaving that many heroes open is really kind of surprising there. So it's interesting. Yeah, they have a lot of big high tier picks that they can pick up. The Leshrac will probably be coming soon, along with the Invoker, if they do decide to draft him up. Just really hard, good, powerful casters. Leshrac really good at pushing towers with the Edict, things along those lines. But rather than talk hypotheticals, let's talk what we do have. We have Chaos Knight right here, and what he's capable of is pretty much he, with his Chaos Bolt and with all of his abilities, has the potential to do a very large amount of damage, go into a kind of ganking setup and a kind of semi-push setup with his Phantasms, and move on to, with the farm he generates from those, actually move on to carry the game. He's not necessarily a hard carry. His crit's really good, his Phantasms are really good, but he benefits so much more from a powerful laning phase and a powerful mid game. And you see Ancient Apparition picked up a lot with him because they work well together in lane. But I mean, he has lots of options because he is a stunner carry, and therefore he is going to be able to set up any kind of stuns from Leshrac or whoever, really. So one way or another, Ancient Apparition, like I said, he lands well with them. But we do have an Invoker pickup. But really, Chaos Knight is really the epitome of potential. Everybody's afraid of what he can do. It's kind of a coin toss every time he throws his abilities out, if it's going to be how effective it's going to be. But overall, he has a very high potential, and if you're able to capitalize on that, like CLG often is, then you can really, really wreak a lot of havoc in the enemy team. But the two pickups coming out from Hello Moto are actually going to be the Invoker and the Enigma. Enigma most likely going to be covering the jungle, maybe transitioning to an early push or something like that, depending on what lane he is going to be supporting on the top lane there. But you're looking at Invoker could be covering the solo mid, and he can be choosing between either a Quaz into Exort build or a Quaz into Wex build, depending on who he's running against. You're more likely to go into Exort if you're not being pressured early on, whereas you're more likely to be running Qual's Wex if you're having a lot of issues like in a dual lane, in middle lane, or something like that. But also, it really just depends on how you want to build him. If you want to go for long range potential with your Sunstrike, global potential really there, or if you want to do some disable and utility with that EMP. But anyways, the next two picks drafted off from CLG. You got Leshrac and Windrunner. A lot of different ways they can lane this, but these are really good pickups. I completely agree with these choices right here. Very high tier and filling out CLG's lanes very nicely. Technically, definitely Pycat's going to be picking up the Leshrac. He loves that Leshrac. I mean, Lacoste has played him a couple times too, and he's good with them, but I'd say Pycat's more... Well, actually, then again, Pycat does like the Chaos Knight as well, so we'll have to see one way or another which one of those two picks up, but most likely those two are going to go to those players. And Shadow Demon gets picked up from Hello Moto, moving us on into the draft phase, the ban phase, which is starting off with the Panda there. A couple of big strength initiators are really currently not taken out, and there's like Tide Hunter, Sand King, Beastmaster. There's a great example, and they just want to kind of take those big disablers off the board and get whatever they want in this pickup slot here. So they took off Brew and Beastmaster, so that the two major strength heroes are taken out, but they still have, like I said, Earthshaker, Sand King, Tide to pick from. Plenty of selection there, and they're taking off the supports. They don't want too much more support action, when I would honestly say they've already got quite a bit of support utility out of Leshrac and Windrunner. I mean, you're going to have to run the Leshrac as a support, definitely, with the remaining draft, but that's not a problem. CLG does that very frequently, and it's still very effective. But Lich and CM are both denied, so it's kind of one thing where they got the Shadow Demon pickup, and they want to try to maintain lane control with the Enigma ganks and the Shadow Demon utility. So that's kind of what they're going for there. Could see maybe a Mirana pickup for since they don't have a semi-carry to go on the Suicide, or you could still see plenty of other options, obviously. But Quap is a nice pickup. Clink, especially with the Enigma, Quap would be really nicely, but they are very effective by silences, Pugna with his Nether Ward, things along those lines. So I haven't seen Pugna picked up in a long while though, so that's not a big deal. But the nice laning setup here with Earthshaker, you might actually even see a Windrunner Earthshaker dual lane. I've seen CLG run this before, and it can be extremely effective if you can get the right setup between the two. They have to be very coordinated, but they can get some really good pickoffs if they do manage it. Even against like a Disruption Shadow Demon lane, they can still manage quite a bit there. So they have a lot of different ways they can lane it, with the Windrunner maybe going for a Suicide, and then the Chaos Knight dual laning mid with a Leshrac, then Earthshaker going with whoever else bottom, or you could run a duel with the Windrunner and the Earthshaker. But most likely you're going to see a 2-2-1 setup. I don't see them picking up a jungle, seeing as they have this Earthshaker, and there's going to be the Tide I was talking about. He has the major wide range initiation with that Ravage, and just powerful AoE, can hit the Phantasms and do a good chunk of damage to them, and just overall throw a lot of powerful AoE setup and initiation with that Ravage out, and then setting up shortly after it a Black Hole, which will be just further increased by Meteor and stuff like that. Things along those lines. So I'm curious what CLG will pick up for the last pick. They don't need a jungler. They don't need really. I mean, they could go for a solo mid and go 2-1-2, or they could try a tri-lane setup with Leshrac, Chaos Knight, Earthshaker, and have Windrunner solo. So they can go 3-1-1. And there's the Pugna, actually. Very surprising there. I mentioned it, so that's kind of ironic. But no, that's a perfect pickup for what they want. They want a mech carrier maybe on Pugna, or they can do it on the Windrunner. But either way, they have a solo mid potential with the Pugna. His Nether Ward wreaks havoc against Invoker, against Enigma, especially if it ranks up his ultimate, and even does a decent chunk of damage to Tide Hunter as well. And the last pickup is going to be the Morphling. One thing is Pugna does shut down powerful auto attackers with his Decrepify, but Morphling, half his initial initiation of damage is going to be Adaptive Strike and Waveform. He's not going to worry too much about the Decrepify, and he can still waveform out even if he's slowed. So that kind of thing does give him a lot more versatility, and I think that's a pretty good pickup by Hello Moto. And so, like I was saying, Hello Moto, I got their captain is PSTM. Then they got, I'm trying to think about how to pronounce that. Quokova will be good. He's playing the Invoker, going to be run solo mid. Got Jungle Enigma, going to be covered by Pimpalicious, and Failit's going to be running the carry Morphling. I'm trying to think of how they're going to lane it. Specifically, if they're going to run a suicide lane or what specifically. They could run maybe a suicide Tide, or they could run a suicide Enigma. One way or another, I expect this Morphling and Shadow Demon to be working pretty closely together, because that's a pretty good setup there. But moving right back down, Miracle heading towards the top lane already, maybe just to place wards real quick. But might actually set up shop there. We'll see one way or another. Dement the stand-in, covering the sentries. There is no invis detection, so they're just trying to make sure. So he's mostly going to be covering bottom lane, doing some counter warding there against blocked pulse bonds and things like that. Lacoste. Okay, so who? Okay, so Miracle actually picked up the Leshrac, and Pycat picked up the Chaos Knight. She does have a little bug with his head. I don't know if that's yeah, it is transferring out to the main thing. A lot of little head bugs and stuff. A lot of weird little things being changed, tanked around with the recent patches. Things like just kind of disassembling the body so that you can add on more items and stuff to it, cosmetics. But not that big a deal. One thing I'm very happy about is they just announced in the test patch that they're bringing in 3 more heroes. And more heroes, always good. A couple of them are actually going to be seen in competitive play there. So very excited about those. That'll shake things up and maybe move us more back towards the 4 Protect 1 rather than the push metagame. Don't hate the push metagame. It's just always changes, always good in my opinion. So that'll be fun. But anyways, back to this game specifically. I definitely think Misery is going to be going for middle lane against the Invoker. Probably going for a fast bottle setup. And then you'll see Pycat go in with the Leshrac most likely, and then Earthshaker and Windrunner working well together. That's my perspective. Obviously they can go 3-1-1 instead of 2-1-2, but we'll see very shortly what they decide to do with that.
Prepare for battle.
Okay. So everybody's moving towards top lane, making sure they got that coverage in that direction. Gonna get the wards up and set up so that there's not too much pulling action going on there. Yeah, like I said, they have lots of flexibility. Even if they want to run a aggressive tri-lane with Leshrac, Earthshaker, and Chaos Knight, that'd be a good setup as well. But we'll see exactly who they expect to be laning against and how they want to shut them down. Morphling building to go for an Aquila. Has a Ring of Protection, plenty of branches for last hitting. He'll be going for a wand there as well, and he got 1 set of regeneration from one of his teammates there, so that's always helpful. Then we got Smoke really early on the Tidehunter, and they're already aware that they need to be sticking together and being very careful about how they mobilize at this point. But it looks like Pimpalish is going to be Soul Ring soloing bottom, but they do see the enemy team. They did see with the clip vision right there that we're able to kind of thwart their efforts to go for a really early gank. They did get their wards up, and they did get their vision and counter warding prepared, so this camp's going to be completely blocked out. Pimpalish is going to be having a little bit worse of a time in the fact that no pull is blocked here, but he's going for a pretty quick soul ring, so most likely what he's going to do is deny with the Eidolons and then use them to control the lane. So you'll see that happening pretty quickly. And then once he gets a soul ring, he's actually Enigmas are really hard suicide to deal with. But if any lane can do it, it's going to be the Pycat Miracle combo on this Leshrac and Chaos Knight. DD picked up, good auto attack to put on PSTM. Not enough for a second, but no big deal there. It's going to be looking like a roaming Shadow Demon, kind of trying to help out in every respect. Make sure Invoker's covered, but he's going to have no real problem going against this Pugna. 51 auto attack damage to, looking at 50, or, wow, actually that's more than I expected. He actually has 63 auto attack damage, so that's a huge advantage, even though Misery is doing pretty well. Playing very aggressively right now, I guess just to get some damage off of that Nether Ward, which is a pretty low cast range. And he knows that the enemy Invoker has Exhort and only 1 Tango, so that means he's not running any quals at the moment. He's going to have to start using his regen really quickly. But yeah, with that Blades of Attack and Exhort, he's actually, has over 53 attack damage, and that's pretty considerable. PSTM did head back towards the top lane. He does get Fissure blocked, just to make sure he's not setting up on anything but the Disruption comes out, the Gush can follow up if he wants. Yeah, Gush and a waveform, and he's only a couple auto attacks from away, and Shadow Demon finishes him off. So that's going to be first blood for PSTM. But Tidehunter does fall down, and Windrunner gets a official kill on that one. So a little bit back and forth there, but the first blood going to Shadow Demon does mean he gets maybe an upgraded courier or really whatever he wants to pick up. He picked up boots, so it's going to be more mobile, allowing him to set up the disruptions more effectively. And with that Gush, which reduces armor and movement speed of the opponent who just got 2 illusions to start walloping on him, it's going to actually, yeah, cause a lot of grief for anybody that's trying to run in that top lane, even Windrunner. For Lacoste, only has 1 point in Windrun, and if you can wait till start doing damage to force him to pop the Windrun and then Disruption after that, it's only a 2.75 second duration. Disruption is 2.5, so you can actually wait out the Windrun almost entirely just with that action. Misery already farmed up his quick bottle. He went for a fast bottle, but Enigma does get knocked down by that Pycat Leshrac combo. So Enigma playing in this specific area. Oh, well, he's respawned now, obviously, but he was in this area here. And just landing a Chaos Bolt on him, followed by a good stun from Split Earth Stun and a little bit of Edict damage, was able to finish him off there. So he gets taken down, and he's still very far off from his Soul Ring. Has the recipe like before, but he's 325 and then 350 after that. So 675 of that, he only has 286, and needs to get that there. Otherwise, he's not going to have control of the lane for a while. Unfortunately, although Enigma is a really great suicider with this micro from these Eidolons, just the combination is going to be really tough to deal with. There's some creep pulling action going on, but PSTM just kind of keeping that covered, make sure as much creep is denied as possible, that Morphling gets as much last hits as possible. Speaking of which, my bad, I'll pull up this nifty last hit deny stat thing so you guys can keep tabs on them, but currently you're looking at Pugna control in the middle lane with the 13 and 2, but Invoker does have 6 denies at this point, or 7, so that is actually denying Pugna a ton of experience. It seems a very small amount, but if you look at experience per minute, you're looking at Invoker being the highest with Pugna nowhere near him. Actually, Pycat, or whoever's on the Chaos Knight, Pycat, yeah, picked up a Chaos Knight. So, but anyways, he was doing even better in experience per minute for a short time period before Pugna, just because of all those denies coming out of the Invoker there. While top lane is just having to be very, very careful. I mean, they have the Earthshaker and the Windrunner, great combo, a lot of disable in CC, but they still have to be watching exactly what they're doing very carefully against this potent tri-lane here. Just Morphling Shadow Demon in general is a very, very painful thing to deal with, and combining that with a rank 2 Gush, reducing down 3 armor, can be very, very destructive to deal with. And then the long-range Sunstrike on top of that. So, DD on Tide, just kind of covering the runes for him, but really Enigma is only level 2. He's doing the worst by far. If you check out, yeah, Earthshaker and Enigma are the 2 that are minimized, definitely, and only 90 experience per minute on this Earthshaker means a little to none. So, just really got to watch that and try to maintain as much lane control as he can get. I mean, if he gives them an inch, they're going to take a mile with this lane setup, because they do have the rank 2 Edict, but they can always dive past him with that Chaos Bolt, so he's going to get zoned really hard, and it's going to be more and more difficult for him to defend this tower. And there comes the long-range Reality Rift into a 4-second stun from the Chaos Knight. That's just so much. That's where I talked about the randomness and the possibility of just doing so much. Now Miracle knows that he's not going to get out of here. Actually, he does have Salve and a TV scroll, so never mind. I was going to say that there's no way that he could possibly get out of there, but he's got it covered. He knew that they were going to be diving shortly, and he got the items he needed to cover himself and do the damage he needed to. Now, Hello Moto trying to do some retaliation onto Lacoste here, but he knows that the damage isn't going to be enough. He has got plenty of bottle charges ready to step up, but he's not ready to dive just with that rank 2 waveform right now. Yeah, nice play. Getting that 4-second stun was extremely lucky, especially with the fact that it is only a rank 3 Chaos Bolt. It had a 1 in 4 chance of that being the case, but that much stun is just, it locks that Enigma down. The Reality Rift is a good initiator, pulling them in, and they just got lucky with that stun, which enabled them to get that pretty quick kill on Enigma and shutting him down even further in level. He's still only level 3, and he's a solo lane, so he's actually going to move on to the jungle and just let them take, since they've already taken the tier 1 tower at this point. Shadow Demon did get denying that. Good job on him. making sure they didn't get too much advantage from that gold. But a haste rune comes out from Misery, and Invoker's got to watch out. He does have the he doesn't even have Cold Snap invoked. He's gonna in a second, but right now he's got to. There's got to be good timing with it. That the Shadow Demon support is extremely effective, getting that disruption off at the perfect time. The illusions proccing the Cold Snap as much as anything else, and the Sunstrike timed perfectly with it as well. And then he gets a salve, so he's back up just enough. It could have been a really nice game for Pugna, but he's got to watch out and be aware of where the enemy team is. This PSTM, playing with this disruption, playing with this Shadow Demon, I mean, he's been running this very effectively. And just from that Soul Catcher disruption combo, he's forcing Leshrac back from a very aggressive position, keeping Pimpalicious covered, because that's I'm sure who Leshrac Miracle was looking for at that point. He just wants to keep up the pressure against his opponent there. Well, Pycat kind of goes for the free farm on bottom lane. So, yeah, a lot of graphical bugs, and I'm thinking it's mostly because a lot of these models have been modified so that they can handle the cosmetic changes, and unfortunately right now that just means they're in a little bit of a limbo as far as their visual potential there. But still, Pimpalicious surprisingly coming back to the bottom lane. I guess he just wanted to finish off the Soul Ring before he came down, but he's still in a bad position. Even if he does have that near unlimited mana pool, he's going to be so easily zoned no matter what. He still only have rank 1 Eidolons, which don't do, I mean they do some chunk of damage, but they only have 180 HP, they only had 20 damage. Now they're rank 2, so he's doing a little bit better, but he's still got to watch himself. It's really easy for him to get caught out, and for just the Split Earth and Chaos Bolt combo to be just enough. In the meantime, Tidehunter is a little bit experience deprived, making sure that he's not leeching off this Morphling, who is almost hitting level 6, but they got a TP going in, and with that they got so much potential initiation, but Shadow Demon and all that, but unfortunately Chaos Knight's base movement speed along with the treads he's already picked up, and he's just way too fast for any of them. Even with the regular boots on Shadow Demon, just cannot keep up with them possibly, and that means no Gush, that means no Elephus, but actually coming in with the Pycat for another 4-second stun. What luck. I mean, I know it's rank 4, so it's 1 and 3, but holy crap, another kill from another 4-second stun from the Chaos Ball. So just taking the advantage. Oh wow, Miracle's going deep on them. Pimpalicious has to watch out here. He dodges the stun, and a nice disruption comes out, and he needs to get the last auto attack. He does, but it's only 14 HP. He had a Tango up on him, and he regenerated just enough to survive that last auto attack. So kind of taunting him there a little bit. He could have ran further, but he chose to stay just in range to say, hey, doesn't matter what you do to me, you're going down. And that's because this awesome coverage from this roaming Shadow Demon. Just showing the great utility of that hero, showing the potential that he doesn't need to stick to lanes. He can just throw amazing disruptions out at exactly where he needs to, but a lot of damage coming on the Invoker from a really good Earthshaker Fisher long range, and Misery just doing his combo, doing his Nether Blast, doing his Direct Repify, and popping his ulti after that to drain his life. And that's just so much damage, and with the rank 4 Nether Blast, they're going to be looking to push this tower very, very shortly. There's pressure coming in on top. Basilius on the Morphling, going to be, after the treads, it's going to be Aquila. Or Aquila, however you choose to pronounce that. But Pimpalicious is covering middle lane. Well, kind of trying to, but Pycat zoning him pretty hard. I don't know if he's trying to act like an illusion here, but one way or another, Pimpalicious is kind of out of his element. Does have to pop his Malefice, which is only going to proc 2 stuns, but Pugna does get the last tail on the tower with his Nether Blast, maybe. But one way or another, they take out some damage on the Shadow Demon. And nice, really nice combo with that Cold Snap and with the Sunstrike. Just that last mini stun tick from the Cold Snap was able to do just enough damage to get the land Sunstrike perfectly on him, and the Malefice stun is going to fish him off. So this, now it's 6-5. They do have a bit of a tower advantage for CLG, and 1 hero kill up. But their Morphling carry is doing extremely well, not having too many issues on the top lane, and he's going to be able to transition to his middle game role pretty well. And it kind of all depends on how he's going to work with this item build. But Eidolons with the Soul Ring kind of provide a lot of tankability on this tower, and they're going to try to do some damage to the main turret. But another ward does come up, so they are... Oh wow, Invoker actually caught in a little bit of a bad position. Good thing the tower was no longer auto-attacking him. Nether Blast is just going to come out and clear out the creeps, so not a big deal there. Dire bottom. They got a Miracle trying to do some pressure with his Edict and actually dropping the tower into deny range. A little bit of a mistake pushing it that far when he knew he couldn't take it, especially with that TP scroll, but now he's got to land the Split Earth. He does land the Split Earth and he has his ulti going, but he's going to take too much damage from the ultimate from Demonic Purge along with the Gush. So that's going to drop him off, and they're going to get a deny right there. So a little bit going a little bit too deep. Misery needs to back off on that a little bit, otherwise he's just throwing away gold that they can. If they can wait a little bit longer for that gold, which I know they can, CLG is in a really good spot right now. So if they can wait and not pressure that tower that early on, they can wait a few more minutes, bring it down to like 15% health, and then pressure for when they know they can focus for the kill and not have to risk that to die, like they pretty much handed to them. So, I mean, it's not a terrible play. They did get the tower. It was distracting the team so that their carry can farm, etc., etc., but overall, there are better ways to do it to optimize how much gold you're getting out of it. Eidolon's taking up some of the Edict, but still doing a good amount of chunk of damage on the tower. Another good Netherward placement. It is rank 3 at this point, so gonna be hurting Invoker definitely if he starts casting like crazy. But Pycat coming in, a power shot, doing a lot of damage, and with that ultimate and the Reality Rift, he's gonna do just a ton of burst. And here comes some damage onto PSTM. Got the Split Earth, got the Fissure, and he's gonna get knocked out too. Just a lot of action on this rank 1 Pulse Nova. You don't really see a level 6 or 7 Leshrac picking up the Pulse Nova, but he's been using it very effectively. He knows the Edict isn't going to be enough in a lot of situations where there's either disrupted illusions or there's Eidolons about, and under those circumstances he's popping the Pulse Nova instead and just doing the damage that way. And the Invisible Anti-Hunter can be very dangerous with the fact that he can just pop in and ravage whenever he's wants, but it's only got about 8 seconds left, and so he's not going to be able to use it for a major initiation because team's just not going to be able to get in there that fast. He might be able to do a nice Gush, following into a Malefice Cold Snap, but right now the damage coming out on Tidehunter just hurting so bad, and if they did a little bit more to him, but they did clear out the Nether Ward, and they're going to keep pursuing. Leshrac needs to kind of land a Split Earth if he's going to be able to get out of there, but it doesn't look like it with a Malefice stun. He's going to get waveformed out and finished off. So just that incredible increased damage from the Soul Catcher, ranking it up to rank 4, 50% increased bonus pure damage, going straight out of any one of the burst abilities of Hello Moto's team. Another disruption coming out, actually catching out Misery. He is in a corner, he cannot get past these illusions. A nice shackle going to PSTM, and he's going to get life drained for the rest of his health. But Misery's in a bad spot, he's going to watch himself. He does take off any auto attack damage with that Decrepify, and then pulls it in with an Urn, positive health. So he has healed up a decent bit, but just helping Lacoste get out of there. Taking a free kill on that Shadow Demon, but it is going to be Dement that's going to be taken down by Morphling. Trying to juke, but knew that if he can't do something extremely tricky like he just tried, he wasn't going to be able to get out of there. So, but overall, Pugna already has that mech up. Very, very effective for follow-up teamfights as long as he has enough mana to sustain it. Maybe I'm going to be looking at Arcane Boots shortly, I'm not sure. Arcane Boots on Leshrac, maybe building it into Bloodstone. Windrunner went for the phase, and Earthshaker does not have the Arcane yet, so I'm not sure what Pugna is going to be looking for, if he's going to be looking for phase or Arcane, but right now he needs to get a rune, he needs to be able to sustain his mana. He is looking for that DD rune top right now. But PSDM also trying to get some coverage, at least on wards, so it has a nice ward placement, can see south, anybody coming in this eastern jungle entrance. So that gives a little bit of coverage to Morphling, etc., etc. He does have Basilius on, so he's looking to gradually push towards this top tower. It's completely full health, so no real threat at the moment, but just making sure that he's providing the pressure that people have to TP top just to make sure their towers are covered, etc., etc. But yeah, nice combo potential with the burst damage that Pugna can apply. Curious where that's going to go, but one way or another. I am getting a little bit of lag here. I'm hoping it's not like a Steam update or something, but whatever. We're just going to show what's going on unless it gets really, really bad for you guys. In the meantime, Invoker trying to pick up either, probably most likely a Force Staff. Could be going for heals, but I'd say Force Staff is going to be the more likely of those. Just for the mobility against this team. Trying to get out of Pugna, Decrepify, Blast combo, and that kind of thing. He is opting for an Aghanim, which is a little bit surprising because there are a lot of disables. Malefice, Cold Snap, Ravage, even Morphling's Adaptive Strike and Disruption can block it out. And for that reason, you generally see like a BKB or something along those lines on Pugna. But smoke does come up on Hello Moto, and they're going to be looking for jumping in to go bring some pressure on Lacoste. He has to have good map awareness there. Say, hey, where'd they all go in top lane? But it's a little bit too late now. Malefice stun coming up with the Cold Snap. Just so much damage coming out with the Gush, and even with that Wind Run ability, he's going to be picked off in just a very short period of time. Maybe a Sunstrike coming out. a nice shackle attempt, but it did not latch to anybody else, and now he's all by himself, and with the gush and the last auto attack from the Forge Spirits, he's going to drop down. But that did give them enough time to get some distraction. They're going to have to pop their Fortify on top tower, and that's all they needed. Miracle's going to get out and take that Fortify and try to leave with it. No Blink Dagger, nice counter initiation from Earthshaker, making sure they can't set anything up, and they're going to just take that Fortify and leave. So it did cost them their Windrunner, but overall that does help them in the pushing game, trying to get those towers down quick. As far as overall who's headed in the right direction right now, and of course right when I check that, Chaos Knight does get a solo kill on Enigma, who's not having a good day right now. He's level 8, all he's got is the Soul Ring, which only costs him HP. It won't give him any more survivability. There's some action going on middle lane. Misery going up against that. He's got the haste, so even with all that shutdown, nice shackle between the two. And with the Nether Blast, so much damage. He kills himself on the Nether Ward, and now the hasted Misery trying to finish off this Invoker. And with the Urn and Nether Blast Decrepify combo, he's going to easily be able to manage that. So really nice play by Misery there, and some more CS for him. Topping out at 84, aligned with this Chaos Knight, who's pushing in already past the tier 2. Onto the tier 3, just march, 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 keep the pressure going on these towers and force them to continuously second guess where they need to be. They can disrupt Hello Moto's play and just constantly apply pressure at least 2 lanes at a time. It's going to be really difficult for them to coordinate, and they're going to be very, not panicked per se, but it's going to be really more difficult for them to play the way they want to. And the fact that Morphling's going to Ethereal Blade, I don't think really bodes well for their team. Generally speaking, if your Morphling is building for a physical damage thing, he at least has endgame potential. But Morphling's right now, first of all, he feels terribly unsafe with this gank train coming up to say hi, visit him a little bit. But yeah, with him building the Ethereal Blade, it will give him nice, very burst damage potential with that shotgun. But I almost feel like it's going to be too late. Their squishiest hero, Windrunner, is already up to almost 1,000 HP. Lishrak and Pugna are going to be building very tankable as the next few minutes move on, and Morphling's not but halfway to this E-Blade. So yeah, the damage is going to be really nice with the rank 4, potentially rank 4 Adaptive Strike combined with this Ethereal Blade, and then the waveform to follow through is going to bring him low, and maybe with a Ravage it's going to be able to pop somebody off, but it's not going to give him the solo kill potential that he generally benefits from it. If he can solo, like walk up to a Vengeful Spirit or a Crystal Maiden or something, and say, hi, how you doing, pop pop, and bring somebody down, that's exactly what you need to do with an Ethereal Blade, and that's going to be where it profits you. But what it's going to be more likely is he's going to bring somebody low, and he's going to require teammates' assistance to do that. And not having that solo gank potential, and the potential to be ganked right here without a Linked Sphere. No Linked Sphere, 4-second stun. No matter how much he strength morphs up, it's going to be a really nice Echo Sign followed by Fisher. Just so much damage coming out. He's going to try to waveform out, and there comes the Reality Rift pulling him back in, and he drops down. So a little late on the disruption, and Ravage is going to be coming in, but he's out of mana. He needs to pop his wand. He needs to get some mana, but Pipe is already up on the or Pycat actually built it. Really nice shackle, latching the Shadow Demon and finish him off just with that really long disable. You're looking at a 3.75 second disable when that shackle latches. Immense potential for very powerful CC. But I was actually thrown off by the fact that Pycat went for the pipe on his Chaos Knight. I mean, I know he likes to play supportive on some of his other heroes, but and a deny on middle lane. A little bit action between Miracle and Kokova. He does have the Cold Snap and he does have the Deafening on him, but if he doesn't land the Sunstrike, I don't think he's going to get enough damage, and he's just going to be suiciding himself against the Pycat Windrunner combo. Miracle trying to TP out before these Forge Spirits get that last hit on him, and he's going to manage because he's behind that tree, line of sighting them there. And a little bit of pressure on middle lane from Dement. He's actually really low with no teleport scroll. No, actually he has a teleport scroll. I don't know why I just said that. Anyways, he's going to have to watch himself. But overall, the only thing, like I was saying, the only thing that was holding them in place in my mind was Morphling's farm, having over 100 CS. But if you look at his KDA, he's not doing too hot, only being 2-1-1. Means for a tri-lane that they didn't do all that well, and they didn't even zone the enemy heroes very well, because Earthshaker and Windrunner are not the lowest. In fact, Windrunner is doing perfectly fine. That's, I wouldn't say it's a failed tri-lane, but it did give Morphling the farm they needed and the breathing room to get that early farm. But now he's not even turned it into an Ethereal Blade for another 1,300 gold. By that time, I'm expecting Windrunner to have a much more tankability, especially since he's already level 12 against the level 11 Morphling. But a lot of action going in here. 2 seconds down on Titan, but as soon as that finishes, he's going to be looking for a Ravage. He does get It does not hit anybody but Pycat. Pycat does get force tapped out. The pipe does get taken off of everybody, but another Reality Rift brings another kill for the Shadow Demon, and Piplush is in bad spot. He does have Black Hole, but 2-second stun, followed by stun, followed by stun. Drain life and just so much burst damage, and now Todd's going to drop too. So just a huge amount of pressure coming out of CLG. 19-9, and just continuing to be ready to push. Aghanim Scepter did finish up on Pugna. He has no cooldown on this ultimate, so he can just keep on spamming and spamming as long as he has the mana for it, which is why he probably needs Arcane Boots or something along the lines. But Morphling luckily had the Replicant available and replicated back to mid. Maybe to farm, maybe to get out, but one way or another he's going to survive for the moment. However, he needs to be looking at his towers, defending his racks, because they're getting pressured pretty hard right now. Miracle getting a little bit of damage on the creeps and going to follow it up with in 5 seconds with that Edict cooldown. And going to be, as soon as that pops off, he's going to be doing a lot more damage to this tower, and he's going to be causing a lot of problems. And they do have Fortify, but yeah, they're going to have to pop it right now. They do have everybody up, but they need to get everybody together and be ready to go in. Misery does get a lot of damage on him by the Sunstroke, but it's rank 4. He does have double 4 spirits, but they're going to be off in just a few seconds. And he needs to be doing that physical damage. He did go 4 Exhort, 4 Quas. He's doing a lot of physical damage because he knows he can't chain cast with that Nether Ward doing so much damage to him. But they're just poking and poking at this melee racks, and if they get a little bit more on it, they're going to drop it down. But a nice disruption came out on the Windrunner, but with the Windrun active, the Cold Snap's not going to proc any mini stuns, and that's going to let them get out of there pretty easily. And so they're TPing out, they're falling back, maybe doing a little bit of defense on the towers. The Siege Scrape here will bring it in deny range, probably won't kill it by itself, and that means that oh, actually the last auto attack did not land. It was very close, had the animation going, but it is not going to be deniable. That's unfortunate for CLG, but I don't think they need any more handouts right now. They're doing perfectly fine on their own, handling this game and controlling the map extremely well. You can see on the gold graph easily soaring over 12k gold difference, and same with the experience. So just very nice play in the last couple team fights, and they're just putting on this pressure that Chaos Knight provides. Mass Disable and mass damage combined with the aura of drums, it makes them so mobile. And Pipe actually just kind of helping him out against this Tide Hunter Invoker Enigma damage combo. And so, and even Morphling play for him. Add that to the list. But overall, it's just it's a really good, nice team fight item that I'm glad that he picked up, because it just enabled his team to play so much more aggressively and effectively, and allowing Leshrac and Windrunner to build for more tankable items to not have to worry about the Morphling. So that Ultimate Orb coming out from nice shackle between Invoker and Morphling, 2 disabled right now. Power Shot does go through, but only latches on Morphling. Nice damage from the Split Earth, but he does get forced out. And now Miracle is actually kind of overextended a little bit with all the abilities from the Shadow Demon. Does get forced out himself, so he's probably going to make it out alive. But Shadow Demon does get picked off from the Pugna, who is actually rooting around in the southern area trying to find anybody to TP out. But Pycat is going all out on this illusion, trying to take down this fake Windrunner, which obviously he knows this is his own teammate, but maybe he's just having a little bit of fun, who knows. One way or another, he's doing a lot of pressure, and now he's going to be building for a Manta with that Ultimate Orb, while Lacoste has come for his Scythe of Ice. But yeah, 200 gold away, Morphling still trying to get for that E-Blade, and at 25 minutes, that's honestly a late E-Blade. I mean, I know he has Treads and Bottle and Basil, and one, but overall, he's not getting what he needs. He's not getting that advantage. And he just used a waveform, and his Replicant just went off cooldown. So he has no Replicant up, and he's getting chain disabled, no shackle latching, but they're trying to do as much as they can to him. Luckily, his waveform is going to be coming up in just a few seconds. He did morph a lot of his strength to agility to play very defensively there. But overall, he's just going to take whatever opportunity he can to farm up that last bit of gold, head over to the Secret Shop, and finish his purchase there. Meanwhile, Roshan damage coming in. Pycat has just enough attack speed, enough damage that they can apply that pressure to Roshan with a little bit of earn help from Pugna healing him up. And he's probably going to be dropping another ward in a second once they know that their opposition is encroaching on them. But right now Pycat's just going to try to finish off, pick up that Aegis, and be ready to rock and roll with a double life. So level up. They just realized what's happening. I don't know if they didn't knew it or not beforehand, but they got a smoke on a couple individuals, but they had no vision in this area. The wards on Hello Moto just they haven't been up to par, not to any fault of their own. I mean, CLG's been just controlling this map non-stop, and they've been afraid to crawl out of their holes there. But now they're just trying to get out in the action and deal some damage rather than just being on the receiving end all day. And so they're going to take some gold with this tower here. Probably no TP support in that, because they're like, hey, you're pushing a tier 1, that's fine, we'll push your tier 3. And so they got this whole tier 3 with no fortification, ready to take some damage. And so they're going to have to TP back and try to play on the back end of things. They got a rank 1 Ravage available and that Ethereal Blade available, but like I said, he's running 800 HP trying to be as high damage pressure as possible, but you're going to watch. It's going to do some damage, but in my mind, with that pipe, it's not going to be enough. And there's a nice surround with the Reality Rift onto Tide, and he has to pop his Ravage early. Nice Echo Slam potential, but he doesn't have it on cooldown. So Earthshaker gets picked off really quickly by that Ethereal Blade. Didn't even dab to strike, just pop the item itself. So he's going to be looking for a waveform on trying to pick up Misery. But I don't actually know. They feel like they can't even control him right now. With that 4-second stun on Tidehunter, I do not blame him. The Kraken Shell does take it off for a second, but Pycat's damage just brings it out, and he still has that second life. Really nice shackle on from Lacoste onto those two, but a black hole between those two, between Pycat on Lacoste, and he's going to go down, but the Age is going to come back up. Miracle doing a lot of damage, dropping down the Enigma, and Morphling gets finished off as well. Full life Pycat, we're doing some damage to Invoker. He doesn't have Invis available for another second. He's going to invoke it now, and Ghost Walk does come out. He does not have any detection, but nice disruption coming out of Shadow Demon. He's got QW on him, looking for an R maybe. Reality Rift and a 2-second stun, 414 crit, and that's going to be the end of the Shadow Demon. Just a little bit of Sunstrike play, but really nothing to stop them at this point from just pressuring this hard. No Ravage for a very long time, and Lacoste has the potential for a nice Shackle setup if they do want it. They know respawns are coming soon, so they might be opting for just pulling back at this point, but they did take the tower. They did win the team fight. The only thing that lost was Aegis and Earthshaker, as far as I recall. I mean, I'm not sure if Miracle was pretty low in that situation, but I think he was able to fall back and survive. So, yeah, you're looking at only 25 and 12. But look at the KDA on Pycat, pulling out 7, 1, and 11. Technically, it says that this is the top according to its sorting mechanism because of the kills, but those 11 assists, they add up, and they have been just throwing a lot of pressure into the direction of Hello Moto, and just annoying little Lacoste with his haste rune, doing whatever he can to disrupt it. I mean, I guess he has to watch himself a little bit, because if Shadow Demon had popped his Demonic Purge on it, it would have taken off the haste and slowed him down to a crawl, and that could have been a bad situation for him, but he is happy. They're definitely on the up of this side, and BKB just finished on Morphling, and he waveforms in only to replicant right back out, so puts himself in a bad spot and has to fall back, and that's where I'm talking about that E-Blade. It was just too late. The gold advantage from, and a little bit of experience advantage from CLG, tries to put that pressure on the track. Nope, I've got 2 bracers and a friggin' BKB. What are you going to do to me? So, really, great item on Morphling in general, but it wasn't going to win him any fights here. It wasn't going to get him, but maybe a kill or two. Killed that Earthshaker relatively quickly, but Earthshaker didn't have his Echo Slam anyway, so what is he, a walking Fisher? No offense to my poor stand-in Dement. He's doing a really good job. Set up a lot of good action, really putting out the aggression there. But I'm just saying, paying that much money, I mean, 3,300 plus the 1,500 for Ghost, 1,600 for Ghost Scepter, whatever. For that, paying that much damage for an Ethereal Blade and then not having much to show for it is something that you can't do when your entire reliance is on your 134 CS carry. And now look at the damage from Pycat with his Manta style, his drum charges, everything. No fortified, just wailing on it non-stop. Just an army, full army of the Apocalypse, just shaking out these racks. Is that an illusion rune? An illusion rune along with Manta style and his phantasms. That's just hilarious. And Earthshaker did get picked off again. Possibly with the Morphling and his E-Blade, I suppose. Yeah, Morphling did get the kill on Earthshaker, but that's at the cost of racks. So really, there's just so little they can do to hold up against them, and just a little illusion rune to fan a little fire to the flame. But yeah, Mech did finish up on the Enigma, and he's looking for a BKB. And if you look at it technically speaking, CLG doesn't have anything that'll stop a full BKB Enigma, but that 400 gold seems a long way off when they've already lost 2 sets of racks. And even then he doesn't have a Blink Dagger to initiate on it if they carefully spread themselves, etc. But Shiva's does come out from Pugna. Screw Arcane Boots, I was talking about mana sustainability. I'm just going to throw 30 Intellect at my item pool, and we'll see how that works. And in Pugna, with his amazing intellect gain in the first place, I mean, his base auto attack damage is 158, but a nice damage coming out from Morphling onto Misery. Like I said, 1490 HP. It's not at that threshold. He doesn't even have the pipe. He has 25% magical resistance, and that's amplified by the 40% of the Ethereal Blade along with its nuke. But it's just not enough damage. Even if you max out his agility, it wouldn't be enough damage. And as soon as he pops that off, he has to replicate back because there's nothing else he can do about it. And all it did was cost him a couple earn charges. So it was a good attempt by Hello Moto, but I think we're going to be seeing the end of it one way or another in a very short few seconds. Tide Hunter denied his level 11, didn't even get his rank 2 ultimate, and that's something that really negates a lot of their potential. Invoker, one of the most experienced dependent, if not the most experienced dependent hero in the game, halfway to an Ag Scepter and level 14 at 31 minutes in. Not too happy about that. So you're looking at the GPMs. You got 470 on Chaos Knight. The top 3 are from CLG, and only Morphling and Invoker are holding their own there. And same with experience per minute. Not too much to say about that. Pipe does pop off, and they're pushing the last tower. No towers left for CLG except for the tier 4s. Miracle with the BKB going in, just doing lots of damage to that Pulse Nova. Finish off PSTM. And Highcat getting ravaged, but Black Hole coming in. Nice damage from the Black Hole with the BKB up. There is nothing they can do to stop it technically. They have already popped their mech. They don't have an Aegis, so they do have to watch themselves right here. Miracle does have full health, but no mana, no way to do any more Pulse Nova action. Lacoste needs to set up a big shackle to finish this off, but a lot of damage coming in on Invoker. 4 seconds done. He's going nowhere. He's going to drop down really quickly, and the shackle actually spreads across to the Enigma, so he's pretty well forced out. Malphite stun onto the Chaos Knight. He's just going for the racks. Once they take this racks, it is absolutely a good game. Lacoste playing around a little bit with the Morphling here, but Highcat staying to deliver focus, but he does have that Reality Rift onto Morphling, trying to strength morph as much as possible. He's out of agility. He has no way to heal anymore. Just a little bit more damage, but Highcat's the last one left. Windrunner does fall down, and they're going to try to hold this. Last range rack, stand to about a third health, and Highcat stuck out, dropped down. There's that now, Shadow Demon did die. I'm guessing his level 10 gave him enough respawn time or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure, but he did come back in. But one way or another, they literally, they actually did lose their last racks. I thought for some reason that Highcat wasn't able to finish it off, but all 6 racks are down, and now you're going to see the Mega Creeps push in. Beefy Mega Creeps, over 1200 HP and 100 damage on a melee. So you're going to see very quickly why they call them Mega Creeps and why pretty much it is good game as soon as those guys pop. Windrunner already back in, doing a shackle shot. Nice shackle shot between those two. And Echo Slam just to finish it off. Nice damage onto Korkova. Invoker just completely disabled. And Demand going to be popped off by the Morphling. So he is getting a kill here and there, but by no means carrying this game. So it's going to be in the hands of CLG. I really like the action from Shadow Demon early on. They are going to call it GG here. But I really like the mobility and the counter ganking of Shadow Demon, setting up with major disruptions. Really, really helping their early gameplay. But overall, their tri-lane wasn't able to do enough with that presence that they had. Because it was just Tide Hunter and Morphling a lot of the time. And Morphling wasn't able to carry it with the items that he did end up going with. He had good farm, but he did get picked off once or twice and wasn't able to get the kills that he needed for that tri-lane to fully succeed. So really well played. I love the Pugna pick. Did a lot of damage in those encounters and kind of inhibited a lot of what they wanted to do. And overall, just really well played by CLG. So good game. There's just, like I said, just a best of 1 group stage, but just overall really fun. And just shows the lineup with that Chaos Knight can be really, really devastating to the enemy team. So well farmed, well played, and good game. Thanks for watching, guys. My YouTube channel, if you're not already at it, is Blaze Casting, and just go ahead and feel free to check out this video. At the comments below, leave some feedback, how I can improve. I know it's a little late tonight, so I didn't have as much energy as I'd like to. I'm still working on that, but overall, just any kind of feedback, good or bad, just let me know what I can do to kind of meet your casting needs better, or just, hey, a good job's always great too. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, bye.